Good afternoon and welcome back to Houston Real Estate Today. I'm your host, Steve Levine, publisher of Real Estate Executive and Builder Architect magazines. And you have just tuned in to Houston's greatest hour of great real estate information provided by great guests. Yes, it's going to be a great show. I've used that word 3 times now. So that's the key of the show, is get great information from great guests. And when you have great guests, they don't even need a host. And luckily, they're going to let me stay today, regardless. Have was all three friends of mine in the studio today with me, and we're going to talk about the Houston real estate market today, what's happening. Not from an armchair quarterback, but somebody actually out there doing it. We're going to talk about the hot West Houston and Katy area, Cinco Ranch, and all about home warranties. And for the first time on the show, we're going to talk about home warranty and how you get one and what they cover. And we're going to talk about title insurance, how that happens, and we've got all that and more, as they say. So, there's a lot of people think there's just actually two real estate agents, a mortgage guy, and a title guy involved in every closing. But we counted up Dittemore County. There's over 27 different people involved in every real estate transaction. Real estate agents have their associates they work with, and title companies. There's lots of people who process those title, escrow officers and such. Mortgage individuals, somebody who gets the loan, and those people who approve the loan, make it happen. So there's a lot of folks involved, and we have all three of the major aspects of a real estate transaction right here to answer your questions. If you've got a question, you can email us at info@HoustonRealEstateToday.com. And don't forget, all shows are archived on HoustonRealEstateToday.com, including this one probably midweek next week, thanks to Andy Valadez, my partner in Market Dynamics, and Connie Parsons of Lasting Impressions, our videographer and photographer. Centerpiece of the show always has been and always will be a top real estate agent. Rick Dittemore with Keller Williams Cinco Ranch was our cover story for Real Estate Executive magazine. Our third one. I was still trying to figure out what I was doing, but luckily Rick knew. And he is a mega agent with Keller Williams. He's been lived in Houston, Decatur area since 1968. Rick has considerable knowledge of most neighborhoods and communities in his hometown area. And he's been assisting and doing real estate since 1988. Started by managing a boutique-style office specializing in the sale and financing of foreclosed properties. And he's consistently ranked top producers in one of the top 5 agents in the Houston region of the company. Keller Williams, we always like having Keller Williams agents on the show. We do break it up. We have other titles time to time, but other logos. But Keller Williams is a great brand. It's always my pleasure to work with a Keller Williams agent for our cover honorees and also our radio show guests. So Rick employs a full-time staff of professionals to ensure the details of his clients' real estate transactions are handled with integrity and precision. And he's just good at what he does. And this is the kind of guy you want to help you in your real estate transaction, no matter what side of the desk you're on. Welcome, Rick Dittemore.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Well, I appreciate you being here today. I think we booked you back in November or something. It's taken a long time for you to carve out a few minutes of your time, work with all the clients you do and all the successful transactions you help both buyers and sellers. So I'm really glad you're here today. Tell me a little bit how you started your real estate practice. How long ago?
Well, I've been in the business about 21 years now. I originally started
in high school. No.
Nice.
He's really young looking, isn't he, Connie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Anyway, about 21 years ago, I decided to get my real estate license and started a little boutique office over in West Houston, specialized in foreclosures. That was back in the late 80s, and anybody who's here back then remembers how we had a unique real estate business going back then, and I didn't know any better. I just said, heck, I'll sell what's out there, and foreclosures were the thing to do, so that's what we did. And then after those started to dry up, I decided to change my focus, came out to one of the well-known real estate companies in Katy, and worked there for quite a few years until Keller Williams opened their offices out in Katy, and then a couple of years later joined them. Been with them ever since about '99.
You like that Keller Williams brand? It's a good logo with a good heart. I like their concept.
Absolutely. The reason I went over to Keller Williams was just their philosophy of how the real estate agent really belongs in the real estate transaction, and the training was incredible. This is the best training in the industry, and I think if you talk to anybody that's in the real estate industry, no matter what company they're with, that they're really I mean, to be honest with you, they will tell you Keller Williams is the best place to go to get your real estate training, and they've got a lot of other perks as well, including profit sharing.
No, it's a great brand, and it's a great company with great agents, and that's why you're there and stay there. That's usually when you're in Keller Williams, you don't go anywhere else. That's where you be.
That's right.
Well, I know you work the market hard. You have a very successful track record of helping buyers and sellers. Tell me what your take is on the Houston real estate market today.
Well, you hear a lot of things in the media nowadays about how horrible the real estate market is. Not in Houston. Honestly, for the most part, it's doing pretty well compared to other places in the country. Now, there are certain areas doing better than others, and generally what that comes down to is a couple of things. Obviously, the master plan communities do very well in Houston. And out where we're at in Katy, we've got neighborhoods like Grand Lake, Seven Meadows, a new neighborhood coming up, Cross Creek Ranch. It's getting ready to open up out near Fulshear, and of course Cinco Ranch. There are a lot fewer foreclosures tend to be in those neighborhoods, at least to this point. The areas that were really hit hard by the real estate debacle with the subprime loans were the ones, generally the starter neighborhoods, where people were trying to get into a home that probably didn't really need to be in a home, or they got stretched too thin. And
Exactly.
the lending industry decided to make those loans available for people, and of course they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to go ahead and get them, but unfortunately they weren't set up real well, and with no equity in a home, when someone needs to sell because their payment's going up, they don't have a lot of options.
But we have a lot of product here in Houston. We've got sort of foreclosures on the market that many markets do, but we're only slightly behind last year at this time. We've got a strong growth in our market. We've got a good job market, great interest rates. So this is absolutely a great time to buy a home. It's just about getting your credit in order. Get that loan before you get the home. We talked about that many times on the show. So tell me, what factors influence a home value?
The factors that really do affect the value are basically three things: location, location, location.
Those three in that
Those
order?
three things. Actually, it's a huge one. I mean, location you can't overcome. Obviously you can't move a house unless you've got a mobile home. So that's a big one. There are two other items that you actually do have control of as a seller. One of them is condition, and the other one's price.
Okay.
Okay.
And condition. Sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. What's your advice to a seller before they sell their home and getting the house in order?
Well, it certainly depends on the house, and generally what I'll do is come into the home, look at it, and look at what they've got. Some people have furniture that's just incredible. It's like walking into a furniture store. And, those kind of people, you certainly don't want them moving out. And if they have that option of, we need to move, should we move or not, I'm going to tell them, stay in the house.
Right.
Let's just get everything nice and neat in here. Your furniture's great, let's stay in there. I have other people, I come in and they've got furniture from the 70s.
Yeah.
And if they give me the option of should we move out or stay, it's going to be go ahead and move out.
Now,
It just doesn't show right.
Do you recommend home staging, Rick?
Absolutely. And we actually offer that, not probably in the traditional sense of someone coming in and you paying somebody. We actually come in, and I've got a marketing coordinator who specializes in coming in and helping the owners put things where they need to be, tell them what needs to be put up. If something needs to be painted or carpet needs to be replaced, then we'll let them know. I mean, we come in and basically look at a house like I would my own. I mean, in other words, if I'm gonna sell a house on my own, I want to figure out what am I going to need to spend money on. I don't want to spend money on something that I'm not going to get money out of.
Exactly.
And that's the way I approach it with my sellers, more on a consultant type basis than a salesperson.
And they appreciate that consultation. When you hire a realtor, when you hire a professional realtor, they're there to help you merchandise your home. And a lot of times you need to look at what the new home builders, how they merchandise the home, how it's decorated, and really see that less is more. So,
Absolutely.
and the use of professional home stagers, sometimes like Connie Parsons, Lasting Impressions, who's with us today, kind of takes the pressure off of you to tell a seller that, that's ugly wallpaper, get rid of that, and your landscaping needs a lot of work. So.
I'm not shy, Steve.
I knew from way back when, our third cover back in June of 2002 that you're not shy, exactly. But it's good that a seller has a professional on their side, and the show's all about using a professional realtor. Why do it on your own? So you work with a lot of home buyers. What are some of the things that buyers are looking for in a new home these days?
Well, whether it's new or used, a lot of different things that are starting to show up that people are asking for. Outdoor living spaces are a big thing now. Whether it's a customized garage or outdoor kitchen, those are big items. And of course, depending on the price range, you're not going to get those kind of things in a house below 200,000, and sometimes you've got to go up to 400 or 500 to actually find those things.
What's in a customized garage?
Well, I've got to show you some pictures.
Okay.
It's just painted floors, real nice and neat cabinets. It looks like an organized space, and it can double as a game room.
Wow.
A lot of people that don't have real big houses will actually customize their garage so they can go out there with the TV on the wall and speakers and games and things. So it's a new thing that's starting to show up. Media rooms are real big right now.
I saw some homes that had it seemed to be like an outdoor living room, TV and the whole bit. I think they call those casitas, something like that. And that's real impressive. That's where you want to put the mother-in-law outside. But no, I'm teasing. What are some other things that new home buyers are looking for?
Granite countertops are huge. Granite countertops, open floor plans are still very popular. Live-in optional bedrooms, for mother-in-law. That's a pretty big thing nowadays in the upper end market. Lots of windows, natural light. Those are things that people are still wanting, and of course, you know why. It's a great feeling to have a house that's nice and light and bright.
Today's home buyers are much different than they were some 20 years ago when you started your real estate practice. What was the one thing that's changed the most about that consumer?
Good question. I would say that as time goes on, the standards are changing. 3-car garages are almost a standard now out in our area. Although there's a lot of 2s that get sold and people buy them. Bigger homes. You and me, I don't know about your parents, but my parents lived in a smaller home. At the time, I thought it was a great big home. And now it seems small. And of course, if you look at their parents, it's even smaller. So bigger homes are becoming, just on and on as far as that type of thing.
So they're really looking for more space, more usable space, more open space to live in than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Of course, the internet's really changed how consumers find a home and find you, with being able to do some shopping, pretty much through virtual tours and lots of photos online. And gone are the MLS books I used to have to carry and get their driver's license to get it back. So consumers really have changed a lot. I know they're changing with time and wanting more technology. Those home theaters and computer rooms and what have you really has changed a great deal since you started your practice and way back in the Stone Age when I had my real estate practice. So in this Houston area now, would you consider this more a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Well, with the exception of the townhouse and condo segment, it's currently being labeled as a seller's market by the Houston Association of Realtors. Now that's going to differ from neighborhood to neighborhood. And so as someone goes out and either wants to sell or wants to buy a property, it's what makes it very important to have a real estate professional with you to give you advice on neighborhoods or your neighborhood that you're trying to sell in.
It really doesn't cost you more money to have a realtor on your side and help you navigate sometimes murky waters, but also to make sure you sell your home for the highest price in the shortest time. It's really a great investment. So,
well, actually, you'd be surprised. They did a survey about what for sale by owners got as compared to houses that were listed, and the percentage of how much less they got was I don't have the number, but it's amazing. I mean, there's no question you should definitely purchase a realtor or hire a realtor.
Hire a realtor, that's
sell
right.
Your house.
You wouldn't do your own brain surgery? I know I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
You want a realtor to help you. Well, tell me in the remaining couple of minutes, what do you do that sets you and your team apart from other real estate agents and or teams?
Well, Steve, we talked about it a little bit. It's just basically taking a consultative approach to my clients' needs, treating them like I would my own family, trying to really get a clear picture of what their needs are, and that's through asking questions, finding out where they're going, why they're going, coming into the house, and helping them with what they have to work with. telling them what they should spend money on in order to get more money out. I flip houses, and by doing that, I've also gotten a good feel for, this whole thing of, hey, I don't want to spend money unless I know I'm going to get money back out of it. So that's a big help, because I can also refer them to service providers that can help them get that job done.
Absolutely. Well, Rick, you're a great guy and a great agent with a great
Thank you,
team. I'm
Steve.
so pleased you're able to join us on the show today. How would a consumer get a hold of you, a future home buyer or seller?
Well, a couple of different ways. Our website is ricksellshouses.com. The website, the email, rick@dittemore.com, or a very easy phone number, 281-395-1234.
Well, I want you to stick around for the rest of the show because I want you to give your best tip at the end of the show and your contact information one more time. We'll be back with more great information on Houston real estate today, so don't you go away.